We are on. Good evening, and welcome everybody to Sisters for Harmony Vodcast. I'm just excited to be here. I really, really am. We were backstage giggling at the doctor trifecta going on here tonight. So when they talk about Black girl magic and all of that good stuff, I think we are definitely sitting up here representing, and the fact that we are representing throughout the diaspora, which is fantastic. So I'm born and raised U.S. I only know my people to be from the States. Dr. Ramantal has discussed her Jamaican background and married to a Lucian like myself. And now you are all getting ready to meet Dr. Corinne Taylor-Walls. And yes, that last name is not by chance, but by choice.
This is going to be fun tonight.
So, everybody, this is my sister in love. We don't do the in-law nonsense. So this is my baby brother's wife of many, many years now at this point. And she has a Trinidadian background. So when I say we are representing the diaspora across the waters, we are really, we're doing the doggone thing. So high five to we touch and agree. And to everyone in the chat, hello. Please be sure to tell us where you're coming from, because Sisters for Harmony, the 4 represents the global direction. And so we really consider ourselves, one with the world. And so it is the ability to create harmony with each other throughout the world. So I think this call tonight definitely represents that. Brother Emoja may or may not be joining us this evening. Our Vice President, Ruby Burke, she has some work assignments, so most likely she won't be joining us either. So we're going to go ahead and get this party started. And if they can join us, they know I'm going to slide them right on in this room. So as I'm going to take Brother Emoja's words, and he always opens up by saying, we greet you in the name of God and our ancestors, in whose footsteps we most humbly walk. And so we are here tonight to do what we always do, and that is to inspire, to encourage, and to motivate, and of course to educate and inform. And so I always tell y'all, make sure you got your pen and your paper ready, because you don't know what you're gonna hear. Come on. Look, Corinne said, wait a minute, I didn't know it was full time. Hey, it works. I got envelopes too. We old school. I even got napkins.
Some of these might be bills. I'm not quite sure.
Whatever it takes, you get that note down. All right. You open up a tab, you do something. So for those who are joining, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also be sure to share out. And again, I am your host, Dr. Kathleen Walls. I am the president of Sisters for Harmony. We are a registered nonprofit 501c3, which looks to help people and women specifically, but we open it up to everybody, because we are not negating anybody from living their life on purpose and with purpose. All right. And with that being said, I have run my mouth now for 4 minutes, and it's time to introduce our guest this evening, Dr. Corinne Taylor-Walls. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you. It is so good to be here. It is definitely a very surreal moment, because I'm used to meeting with you in another forum. So I am very honored to be here. Natasha, I'm very honored to meet you as well. Thank you for your time. And I cannot wait to have a great conversation with all of you tonight.
Yes, yes. And everyone, please be sure to join in the chat room, ask your questions. I will try to get to as many as possible. But Corinne, let's just start out and just tell people a little bit about who you are. Let's talk about background, where you come from, what you did. Before we get to this, there's Quinn. Quinn said, "Yay, Dr. Corinne." Come on with the fans. Bring the fans. Some people bring all the boys to the yard, but you bringing the fans. All right, come on.
So I knew tonight was going to be fun. I just knew tonight was going to be all right. And it's already lived up to it. And we're only 5 minutes in.
Look, that's how we do. Quinn wanna know where she can get a t-shirt. Come on. I'll make you a t-shirt. What you wanted to say? Go ahead.
So I am Corinne. I am from New York. I have my doctorate in physical therapy, and I attended physical therapy school in New York. I have my undergrad from Boston University in human physiology. As a physical therapist, I've worked in many different settings. So I've worked in pediatrics, I've worked in adults, I've done strength and conditioning for folks all throughout many stages of their life. And I'm very honored to be in healthcare. Healthcare is definitely it's a very special field where you can build a lot of relationships, where you get to know people in some of those most vulnerable times during their life. So you get to build these really lifelong relationships, but everyone that you meet makes an impression on you as well. So I'm very blessed to be able to deliver that, to have that and receive some of that as well in return. So my career has taken me across a lot of different states between New York and Philadelphia, and now I'm in New Jersey. I work for a pediatric rehab center right now, so I am a little bit out of treatment. I'm more administration. We have 5 outpatient centers throughout Southern New Jersey. I'm the director of operations for our outpatient centers. So in my current role, what I do is I oversee all of those locations. So make sure that in terms of workflow, processes, staffing, making sure that we can deliver the best care that we can to every child that comes through that door. And it's just it's a great progression that I've seen in my career. And I'm, again, very honored to be in this position, because when you come from care and delivering care, it's a very special place to be in the position where you can direct how that care is delivered, but also provide mentorship for those underneath you too. My husband and I like to talk about it as a coaching tree. So all of those folks that you encounter are part of that coaching tree, and then they in turn are coaching others as well. So I am, this journey's had a lot of twists and turns and a lot of unexpected moments, but in retrospect, I welcome them all, and the future ones as well, because it's brought us to this moment right here. So it's a little bit about me.
Yeah, I love all of that. Dr. Ramantal, I know you can bounce off of that, so I'm going to step aside and let you take the ball for a moment.
No, I think it's wonderful. Your career has spanned so much in terms of, the clinical side, and then going into leadership and operations. And I completely agree with you as a nurse with the taking care of those who are at their most vulnerable. I think it's actually a gift, to serve in that capacity. I know that it can be stressful at times, but certainly you gain something from it. And I always treat people the way that I would want to be treated, or would want to treat my loved ones. So recognizing that, at the same time, because they're in their most vulnerable state, they can be scared, and it comes out in a way that doesn't always reflect niceness or kindness. But still, you serve them with kindness, and you find that it goes through layers, and it breaks them down a little bit. And when they see that you truly care, they tend to ease up a little bit and feel much better.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because as you both were talking about meeting people in their most vulnerable space and time, that the three of us do it in 3 different ways. Right, and have done it, being direct care at one point, to moving into different ways to provide the services that are needed. And there is a level of vulnerability, obviously a level of trust. And for me, it is a level of sacredness, because it is an honor for people to trust you in this moment and say, help me, and I'm turning to you for that help. Like it is a weight that I recognize is there, and I carry it very seriously in the work that I do, and I believe you two do as well.
I agree with that, 100%, because one of the things, that I tell my staff is that one of the most exhausting things to be is in healthcare, because you show up differently for everybody that you encounter. Yep. And you can see 10 people that day, you can see 5 people that day, but it's your responsibility to be able to relate to them because they are coming to you for that assistance. And that's what's definitely very tiring. It's a physical job, as everybody on the screen can attest to. It's very, very physical, but it's also a very, it could be emotionally challenging as well, because you do have that responsibility, but it's very rewarding. When you can connect.
Yeah, emotionally challenging and charging. And rewarding. So we got a question in the chat real quick. So what inspired you, Dr. Corinne, to be in physical therapy?
So I was at school. I was an undergrad, and I had a work study position, and my work study position just so happened to be on the on-campus PT clinic. And I had never been exposed to PT up until that point, which is definitely amazing because this is in my adult life at this point. So I worked the front desk, and I thought it was amazing what they were doing. I've always been a sports fan, and a lot of the athletes were coming through, and they were getting their training, their conditioning, their rehab. And I didn't know that someone can be of influence in that way at that point in life. And I was just very fascinated about that wasn't my major, but I immediately switched my major over to human physiology. And it's just been a path that has been very fascinating to me ever since. The human body is just so very resilient. And when you see it at different stages in life, you learn how to interact with it, but also you learn how to use the body as its greatest tool and its greatest weapon for healing and recovery. And when you're able to see people at different ages and different stages, you learn how to guide people regardless of what they're feeling. So I'm very thankful. It literally was the last job on the last page in that book for work study. And because I had procrastinated, I had to get that one job because everywhere else I called was taken. So I got that one job, and it changed my life. It changed my life forever.
It was meant for you.
Come on. Look at that. So delay is not denial in a real way.
It's not. It's not.
Look at that. And all of that unfolded. We share a last name now because of that course that you chose to take.
It really is. And I am happy to share that last name as well. I mean, it carries a lot. And not to get too far off topic, but when you drop the last name Walls, regardless of where you are, somebody knows a Walls somewhere, which I was not prepared for. Whether it is through, if it's a relative, somebody knows somebody. The Walls name is everywhere.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about extra responsibility,
come on.
Just watch what you do in these streets.
Come on. That's right.
I enjoy it. It's a wonderful family, and I felt nothing but love. And so I thank you for that.
Yes, definitely. We love you. We definitely embrace you, and we embrace you in this next phase. So you got all of this physical therapy, you got this athletic part of you got all this teaming, and now you decided to run for office. Girl, what's wrong? What happened?
Because I didn't have enough to do. I had to fill up that one extra hour.
Yeah.
24. So I'm going to run for political office now too. That seems like the right thing to do.
How that happened? Natasha, have you ever thought about running for office?
No. I've been told or encouraged that I should, but I have no desire. So God bless you.
Yes.
I don't, but I feel like that bug could get you too. If it was dropped in your lap, you never know.
I know. When you see a certain state of affairs and you're like, the only way to fix it is to get involved. Sometimes it chooses you. You don't choose it.
Well, we're gonna find out, because I know I was in 7th grade and we were talking about like the governmental structure and this and that, and I'm looking at it strategically and trying to understand it, and it just very much was like a labyrinth. And I was like, how do we get to the core? Like, how do we fix? I don't want to fix this leaf, and I don't want to fix this branch. I want to fix the core. And I couldn't find the core. Here I go. I'm not doing that. That was my one and done. So now Corinne comes bebopping along, but they're like, guess what I'm doing? So we want the tea. What happened? So like I brought my cup and everything. What happened?
I may not have a notebook. I may be writing on envelopes right now, but I have a So we have moved around a little bit. You know, Brian, my husband, and I have moved around, and we lived in different places. And during the pandemic, it was just such a very surreal experience, as everyone can attest to. So when we were in Philadelphia at the time, and we were looking for a space that allowed us to have a little bit more outdoor space, a little bit more walkability. So we ended up looking in Jersey, and we landed in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. And it wasn't the place that we started in. We looked at a lot of different places from all the way up north to all the way southern New Jersey, and we kind of landed here. And you know, first you have a lot of that excitement when you move into a new home. You are moving your stuff in, and you paint walls, and you do everything that you do when you're enjoying that new space. And then we found out that we really wanted to be connected to the community, and it was very difficult to find out how. We wanted to get to know our neighbors a little bit more, wanted to get to know what this township had to offer. And it was very difficult to discover where we can connect to folks. And as we were having conversations with other people, we found that other people were having similar experiences. So it came to the time, we were in a group, and we were talking with a group of people, and it came to the time where we had to decide what the next political, what the future of the politics looked like in the township. And I was just vocalizing to the group at that time that it was very frustrating, not being able to connect, not knowing where the resources were, having a very hard time navigating the websites and the information that was available. And someone said to me, would you consider running? And I just automatically said, sure, I'll do it. And then I kind of turned. You can't take it back because it's out there.
He said, did that come out my mouth? Did anybody hear that? Right.
What just happened? So I really, and I thought, I think I underestimated the process because I thought it was a little bit more low key than what it turned out to be, because it really was an official election. We had to register. We had a donation site. We have to abide by the laws of the election laws in New Jersey. But we are knocking doors, we are handing out literature, we are hosting events, we are meeting people, but it's been a very rewarding experience. We literally work from whenever we get 2, 3 o'clock in the morning till 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night, because we're doing our full-time jobs plus this. But it is a very unique and special place to be able to be in the position to connect people. So our number one objective right now is connecting people with information, letting them know that they're supported, letting them know that they're seen, and letting them know that every voice in this township can be heard. Within our township itself, you have some people that have been here generationally, but you also have folks that have moved in here within the last 10 years, and that makes up nearly half the population. So I'm running to represent those folks as well, so that they can get connected to the resources, so that they can be seen, that all our cultural backgrounds can be celebrated and identified, and that everyone can feel like they're part of this township. So we are in the fourth quarter for all of our sports fans out there. We're in the fourth quarter of this election because election day is November 4th. So we've been very busy with canvassing and just getting the word out here in Cinnaminson. It's been fun, and I have to give a shout out to my husband, Brian, because he is a huge cheerleader. He gives out a lot of lit. He has all these conversations. He doesn't stop. So I am very, very grateful to him. And we're doing good. We're having a good time. It's a lot of work though. But not to Dr. Natasha, if you want to do it, I'm in your corner. We can absolutely do it. I don't want to discourage you from
vicariously through you.
No. I'm bringing you back. Okay. Because if you want to do it, I have the playbook now, so we can make this process very, very easy for you. But you meet a lot of wonderful people. And just the other night, I was at an event that celebrated. I live in Burlington County, New Jersey, and it was celebrating Women of the Year in Burlington County, and it was just very energizing to be in a space, women of all different backgrounds that were contributing to their community in different ways. And I have to thank this election and this experience for exposing me to all these these wonderful people and all these wonderful opportunities here in the township. And my goal, my hope is that I give back to what the township and these people have given to me as well. So that's what we're running for.
I have a question for you. How long have you lived in the township?
3 years.
3
I
years.
wasn't here 3
And
years.
it's so funny to me that you said you moved there, and it's like it seemed to be difficult in terms of the infrastructure and finding out where the resources are and all of that. That's amazing to me, given the time we're in with technology. Usually everything's available at your fingertips online. So I was just curious, those who are already in office in your township, have they been there for a long time? Are they newer? Share some of that.
I think so too. I mean, I think that they've been in there for a little bit longer. So, when you've been in a spot or been in a position for a long time, sometimes that tunnel vision kicks in. I've experienced it myself. So if you're not getting that feedback, or you're not getting out there and having some of these conversations, you don't see where some of the gaps are. And it's not to fault them at all. I think it's just one of those consequences of being in a position for a long time. So I believe that a lot of people are interested and want to have those opportunities to connect. And I believe that we can do it. I believe that I can be the person to do it. So that's why I say, Dr. Natasha, whenever you're ready, you give me a call. Because now that I've spoken this much, I'm patient.
But I support you. I'll
take it. We need that. But I mean, all that being said, I want to find out about you. Please tell me about you and your background.
Sure. So I'm a second career nurse, actually. So I was involved in international development prior to becoming a nurse, and spent a number of years traveling around the world, just working with nonprofits and with governments, trying to be the go-between to help them work together to improve economic and social conditions of those countries. And it was phenomenal. Had a wonderful time. Then I had a family tragedy, which was I lost my brother, who was 32 at the time, suddenly to a heart condition he didn't know he had. And it sort of flipped my entire world upside down. And I just said, okay, enjoy what I do here, but I would like to do something that hopefully will help me prevent other families from experiencing what my family experienced. And so that actually led me into healthcare. Although I come from a long line of background of nurses and physicians in my family, I've never wanted to be in healthcare. But, sometimes the tides change and things happen, and they lead you to wherever the Lord decides that you need to be. So I became an emergency department nurse, and I did that for a number of years. And then I kind of pivoted to different clinical roles, case management in a hospital, outside of a hospital, working for an insurance company, home health. I taught nurses, and I did population health, worked as a consultant, and then I got into health IT. And when I got into health IT, I saw how the use of technology, at least when you do it properly and it's implemented properly, how it can streamline the workflow of clinicians so that they can spend more time with the patients, which is what they went to school for and what they desire to do. They don't want to be bogged down with the documentation and other aspects. And so that I was involved in that for quite some time, and left that to pursue patient advocacy full time, because everything I've done was to impact the patient. I always looked at that as, if my brother had someone doing these types of things, his situation turned out differently. So I've always been a patient advocate and involved in patient engagement and that sort of thing, but from different perspectives. And now I've just decided to pursue patient advocacy full time. And I have a YouTube channel, Medical Tourism RN, where I educate Black women specifically on what they need to know if they plan on seeking healthcare abroad for anything. It could be cancer care, cosmetic surgery, whatever it is. When I was in the emergency department, a lot of Black and Latino women came in with botched procedures, and we were trying to educate them on how to hopefully not go or not have them done without being educated about how to properly vet them and those types of things. So that's where I am now. So full-time patient advocacy for everyone. My channel focuses on Black women because we have the highest rates of everything, but I serve everyone from all aspects of life, pediatric to the elderly, all races in the US and abroad, if they need any type of advocacy, navigating the healthcare system, going to appointments, booking appointments, trying to make it as seamless as possible for the patient.
That's such a fantastic journey. I have so many questions. I think my first one is, and I think it's kind of the same question that you asked me, just in terms of, you sound like you've been in the nursing field for some time now. You have some time underneath your belt. How do you keep yourself motivated to continue to progress in the field and be able to influence people in these different ways, still using that same degree? Because oftentimes it is, you get into nursing or whatever field it may be, you settle in for a little bit and you just expand in that one area. But listening to your journey, you've had a little bit of everything, from that patient care to patient advocacy to IT, which are very influential areas of healthcare too. So what motivated you to go to these different areas of healthcare within nursing?
It's almost as if it were not, I don't feel it was planned. It was one of those things where I have this insatiable appetite to learn. And if I'm not learning or feel like I'm making an impact, I have to keep moving forward. And so for me, I think because healthcare was new for me, my undergrad was in international business and finance. So I came from something completely different. So when I came out of nursing school, worked in emergency department, I did feel like I was making an impact, but it was a little bit smaller than I wanted, because I used to be on a global stage and I kept saying, this happened to my brother. Surely this is happening to people all over the world that don't even know what advocates are. And so I said, maybe by trying different routes and seeing what they have to offer, I will find my niche. And that's honestly what led me to the other areas. It was, this is not it. Let me try this. This is not it. Let me try this. It was funny. I used to call myself a jack of all trades, master of none in nursing. I
understand.
Yeah, but it all comes together in the end, because what happens is I now know what happens with case management. I now know by working for one of the big three insurance companies, this is how they're looking at it from a business standpoint. And then I've taught nursing students. So all of it, I feel like was needed to get me to where I am today. And putting the patient at the center of everything was really what kept me motivated. I always put myself in the shoes of, is this really making this easier for them? Is it making clinicians spend more time to really delve into what's going on with them versus maybe just looking at symptoms and symptom management?
Yes.
Now tell me, y'all, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why my picture, I'm not allowed to be on screen with the two fabulous people. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not from the islands like some of y'all. I don't know. Gwendolyn, that's my girl. I understand that's your mama, but that's my girl. So I'm trying to understand, Gwendolyn, what's going on here and why I'm not allowed to be on the screen. So I'm just saying, they talk about all this fabulous stuff. Let me pull some of these comments from the chat room real quick. So Gwendolyn says, Dr. Corinne, can't wait to celebrate your victory in November.
Yay!
Yes.
You have to speak that into existence.
Yes.
It will happen in November. We will.
And then Quinn asks, what district and how can we share the word?
So I'm in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. I'm on social media. So if you go to Dr. Corinne Taylor-Walls for Cinnaminson, both on Facebook and on Instagram, I would just follow us. We're doing a lot of wonderful things in the community. So you can follow our campaign. If you know anyone that's in and around Burlington County or specifically in Cinnaminson, New Jersey, please direct us to our social media and they can message us through that as well. So we love to get in contact with people. We love to hear what their perspectives are, how their experience has been in Cinnaminson, but we also want to connect them to the events that we have in and around the township. So please check us out on social media. My husband, Dr. Brian Walls, is my social media director. And so he handles all of that as well. But we both have, we both monitor it to make sure that we respond to you within 24 hours. That's our deadline. And we want to make sure that you're part of this process as well. It's a movement. And that's the best way that we describe it. It's a movement that we're having here in Cinnaminson. You're not alone, you're supported, and we're here with you. Thank you for asking.
Ain't that a logo? Come on.
Everybody, listen, everybody vote in November too. Everybody vote in November.
Right.
She got gangsta on y'all. Come on. Everybody vote. Did you see why she leaned into the camera? Did you catch that?
I did.
She did. The coach and her came out like huddle up. Everybody.
It's the politics. That's what it does to you.
It does. So it takes over.
Excited about voting. I mean,
come on. I'm about to make a whole little jingle with 4 little letters. Look. All right. So let me see what we have here. Gwendolyn says, I'm adopting you. You're now an island. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gwendolyn. I appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Look. Now we're going to work on my accent. I'm going to get a little couple words here and there. Well, go on. I'm going to give me a little. I'm going to get a little. Okay. All right. Next question is, what is the difference between the township and town, city, municipal?
So the township is the governing body. So whenever you have these different cities, and in especially Burlington County, you do have the township, and the township is the center. The township is the governing body that makes sure that the quality of life in that area itself adheres to the laws, it sets the ordinances, it sets the rules of how everybody should live every day. Mm-hmm. So different areas of Jersey have different parts of government, but here in Cinnaminson, we have that township, and that township is what's considered the governing body there. We adhere to whatever the local and state ordinance are too, but then the local and state also support us in what it is that we're doing in order to make sure that the quality of life, whether it be from the environmental, whether it be from the municipal, whether it be from the taxes, the infrastructure, financial, whatever that quality of life may mean for every resident, that we're responsible to make sure that it's smooth for everybody here.
Okay. Now, I may missed some, you may have said some of this already in the midst of me trying to find where my image went on the internet, but apparently somewhere I'm out in the Star Trek vortex and I'm showing up somewhere, but not here. So, but at least my voice is here. So the question is, were you surprised that you have received as much support as you have?
That's a very, very good question. I was hopeful that we had the support that we do have. I am thankful for the support that we have. I am surprised at the unbridled enthusiasm that people have. It is in this day and age, and without getting too much into politics, because that's not what this discussion is about. People have a lot of passions. They have a lot of passions, and that passions can either be inspiring or it can be polarizing. And going into this journey, you don't quite know what you're gonna
get your notes. I done left my notebook. I'm writing on envelopes now. It can be inspiring or it can be polarizing. That's a word right there. Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Corinne Taylor-Walls, your author.
Yes,
that's what they but it could be inspiring, it could be polarizing. So you really don't know where people stand. And believe it or not, in this day and age, people are very, very hesitant. They might be very worried. And this is on both sides of the aisle. You just don't know what the next step is going to be. And so I am very hopeful at the folks that say, I'm with you. I want, and it's been an inspiring journey. When you see that enthusiasm is contagious. And so that's the value of knocking doors. We've knocked over 1,000 doors right here in Cinnaminson. We're not done yet. And we met hundreds of residents, and everyone that we've encountered has said, we've been waiting for an opportunity to get involved. We've been waiting for something to root for. So it is a very unique space to facilitate that, but also be a part of it. And so I'm happy and encouraged that people are as engaged as they are during this process, because it could be very challenging for a lot of people. So we're not done yet. We're in the beginning of October, and we're going to continue to knock doors. We knock doors every weekend from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we hit as many doors as we can in Cinnaminson. We're delivering signs right now too, but it's those face-to-face conversations and those interactions and that feeling that you get when you meet someone and you have a conversation. I'm invigorated tonight by meeting Dr. Natasha and by having these conversations. But that's the value of having a grassroots campaign. That's the value of knowing your role as being in service, and in being in service, it is that connector. It is what's the issue and how do we tackle this issue together. And that's where keeping central as well. We are in service, and we're in service to one another, especially now when things, people are in different stages of their life, whether it be professional and personal, and you may need that support. And we've been connecting people in the township with other people that may have the resources, that may have the connections that other people need right now, but just didn't know. It's a very powerful space, but it is, people are really invested in it, which I'm humbled by. I'm very, very humbled by.
Yeah.
I had a question about the support, because that's huge. I know your platform emphasizes safe infrastructure, local business support, and then transparent government. But and all of them are important, obviously. But which of these do you see as the most urgent priority for your township right now?
Transparency. We need transparency in government. Because transparency is such a huge umbrella, right? So transparency could be truthfulness, transparency could be connection, transparency can be ease in accessing information. And all of those things is where we're struggling right now. So it's not, sometimes when you run, it's about this whole overhaul of, and that's what the fear is. Somebody's going to come in, they're going to overhaul everything. We're going to do things different. And for some folks, they don't want that. But regardless of what your perspective is, you still should be connected to information. Regardless of what your perspective is, you should be engaged. We still should be able to have a conversation regardless of what our backgrounds are, regardless of what our positions are, because at the end of the day, we still live in the same township and those problems are still there. So that transparency, and it is a huge umbrella, but that transparency does mean having personalized conversations, meaning that people have access to the information before it's problematic. And, when someone has a problem, they're already at a 10 and it's harder to solve that problem. Making sure that they can access that information, also exposing to people what the township itself has to offer. We have a lot of entrepreneurs here. We have a lot of people that have goods and services that other people in township need, but there's no way right now easily for folks to connect with one another. So that's what we have to do. And we can do it in so many different ways. There was a member of our community that said in the summer, there's nothing for the kids to do right now. It's kind of a lull. It's right after summer camp, right before school started. So we said, what do you think about a strength and conditioning camp? Would you think that'd be something that kids would like? They said, sure. In 3 weeks, we put together a strength and conditioning camp. We brought in different coaches. It was free of charge for the residents. All you had to do was sign up. We did it for 2 hours every day for a week, say for one day when it rained. And it was just one example of what you can do. We had people come together. People donated time. They donated resources. Local businesses helped us out. But that's just a kind of a snippet of what you can do when people are involved and they're engaged and they feel like they're part of the process. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah. And I love that, right? Feel like you're part of the process, feel like you're part of the solution, feel like you are a part, right? Yes. As opposed to feeling apart from everything. Ooh. Come on. Y'all can't see my fingers. Look. Come on, drop that. There you go. Get it down. See, you get it. You are now friend to the show. You understand?
You didn't trademark that, right?
Come on. No. Girl, I've been dropping that one for a while now. Come on.
Part versus apart. Now, this is someone that say they're Cinnaminson residents, so don't be mad if you hear that again.
Yes.
I might drop that because that's a gem. But I hope that you will be in touch, and I would love to hear from you too. Let's become part of the process, become part of our movement. We would love to have you.
Yeah.
That's my good friend Jackie. Jackie, make sure.
Oh yes, fantastic.
Thank you, Dr. Natasha.
Yeah, come on. She bringing it. She said, I may not be running in the front, but I'm definitely running alongside and in the back. That's right.
She's already part of the campaign. I know whether you know it or not. But
I'm behind the scenes.
We're calling you after this.
See, it's not just me. We all calling you out. Come forward. She got a book that she coming out with. That she don't know she coming out with, but she knows she coming out with it. Yeah. I know, and it's a good book too. Yeah, and you can't call on your mom because she's gonna support you. Look, support me in supporting you to get this book out to the world. Yes.
I have nothing to say because you're right.
All right, that was our little commercial break. That's how we push people into their purpose. All right, welcome to Sisters for Harmony. So we talk about the importance of local voting is to national issues.
That's a really good question, because I think oftentimes some of the local races get overlooked because there's such a spotlight on the national races. And the national races are very, very important, don't get me wrong. But what happens nationally trickles down to the local level too. So the local level influences how you live your everyday life. So the national issues are the whole umbrella. When you get to the meat and potatoes of it, how often your trash gets picked up, what your recycling schedule looks like, what accountability we're holding local businesses in order to make sure that they're contributing to the township as well. All of those are decided on the local level. It's not from the national level as well. How your taxes, what your taxes look like, how we're using those dollars that come into the township itself, how we're using those dollars to better the township and your experience here as a resident, all are decided on the local level. It doesn't have to do with the national. So you want to make sure that when it is a time for election, that you are doing your due diligence. You look up the people that are running, you see what their platforms are, and you attend things that they're events that they're hosting, because you want to have that dialogue and you should challenge them. You should say, why should I vote for you? What's the difference between the local and the national elections? And how does that influence me? We do need participation on that local level, because those folks decide what your public schools look like. Those folks decide how your streets look. Those folks decide who you're holding accountable and what you're holding them accountable for. And you just want to make sure that the people that you have in those seats recognize what the township is, what it has to offer, and how we can take it into the future so that everybody can have a good quality of life every day. You're absolutely right. And that's all decided on the local level. So the national, please go out. National politics are very, very important. Do your due diligence and your research. Talk to people about the candidates running nationally. But the local school board elections, your local officials, all of those contribute to your township, and they're very, very important. So we want to encourage everybody to vote, and especially don't overlook those local races, because they do impact the quality of life.
And we want to encourage you to vote for Dr. Corinne Taylor-Walls.
Come on, soundbite.
Dr. Natasha, who's part of our campaign, that apparently, Dr. Natasha, are you writing a book? Is that what I heard?
Because look, this is what we heard in these Sisters for Harmony streets. We heard that she's from a political family. That's what we heard.
We have to hear more about this.
Oh boy, kind of hot in here. They were in politics in Jamaica for a very long time, and I didn't get the bug. I don't have the bug, but I'm here to help. I'm here to help Dr. Corinne Taylor-Walls right now. Vote for her. Cinnaminson Township.
Dr. Natasha, that was fantastic. But our eyes are still on you. Very nice. It was good. See, that's the spin. That's the political spin that you have right there.
Right. She got it.
We're not buying it yet.
But we are going to buy your book when it comes out.
Can you please tell us about your book? Because we also have to find out about this piece of literature that everybody does have to have.
And Dr. Ramatal, did you notice you're surrounded by walls? So there's no getting away.
I'll say something about it. But see, Dr. Corinne, let me tell you, your sister-in-law, she mentioned it one time on one of the sessions. Dr. Natasha is going to write a book. And I didn't know I was writing this book. But ever since she said it, that has been the thing. Until it comes out, I'm going to do that. And I'm happy for it, because I do need to sit down and do it. People have asked me the content I have on the YouTube, put it all in an ebook and just put it out there so that people have easier access to it instead of watching through it. And I need to sit down and do it, Dr. Corinne.
And let me tell you this is something that she and I could get on a Zoom call and knock out in about 2 to 3 hours, because the first book that she needs to write is just really a journal for someone who needs medical advocacy, the types of questions that they need to ask when they haven't hired her yet to ask them so they can keep note of the things that they need to. And people need that type of guidance. So again, right, you're talking about this transparency. And sometimes people don't even know the transparency that they need. They don't even know the questions to ask because they're either not thinking they have access or haven't had direct access. And so here in the moment when you, Corinne, said, yes, I will run for office. And then you started listening, you started engaging in conversations to find out what was needed, what was it that people wanted. You became an accessible ear and not one that just takes it in, shakes their head, and then goes home. You took it, you went home, and then you acted upon it, like to create a strength training camp for people. And y'all, it's true, because we were supposed to go to dinner and they called me and told me that they couldn't come to dinner because they had to go knock on doors and they had to go do a camp and they had to go and I'm here for the people, but I'm also here for a good Mexican dinner.
So, and this is why, Dr. Natasha, if you, I believe that book is going to come because that's how things usually happen. So once it's put out there, I believe that book is going to happen. And I would love to stay in contact with you because through personal experience and through stories, advocacy in healthcare is something that's greatly needed because I can't tell you how many stories that I've heard of people that either don't go to the doctor because of everything that's going on, but also just because of fear, just because of reluctance, because they haven't had a good experience in the past. But once you do get in front of that healthcare professional, what to ask, what the resources are, what the next steps are, and not feeling alone and not feeling small in that space. Because I feel like when you get in front of a physician or a healthcare professional, people automatically give them that title and that respect, but they're people as well, and it's a practice. So they're not the be all end all. And sometimes you do have the right to question in advocacy of your own personal care. So I would love if you wouldn't mind just sharing your stories, because we talk about working with people in a vulnerable space. And when you're in a vulnerable space and you are having difficulty either feeling heard or feeling helped, it is very difficult to come back to that space, but it's also very difficult to see what the next step is. And I feel that some folks, as you do get a certain age, the narrative is that you just have this cascade of healthcare problems that are going to inevitably plague you. And it's just this ongoing list. And I'm sure everybody can identify what that list is. But then it seems like when you cross a certain bridge, care becomes reactive instead of preventative. And that's what people are just kind of bracing themselves for. So if you wouldn't mind sharing with us a little bit about that, I would love to hear it, because I'd love to pass along that message to folks that may be distrusting of the healthcare system at this point.
No, I totally agree with everything that you've said. And I did reach out to you on LinkedIn just before this call. So don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
Don't you worry.
LinkedIn is not enough. You're going to be in my phone.
We will do that. Because again, you all need to go out and vote for Dr. Corinne Taylor. Cinnaminson Township. I'm here for you.
We're going to see this running on Instagram, on TikTok. Brian is going to clip this.
If you have all your flyers, everything, I will put it on all my social media and as well. That is fine with me.
That's not a joke. I want you to do it. Let's do it.
I'm serious. I'm very serious.
I am
Absolutely.
Too.
I will be very happy to. Very, very
I appreciate, in all seriousness, I do appreciate that support, because, people do have a choice. And people have a choice to support, or they have a choice to go a different direction. And that's what we're trying to get. So Dr. Natasha, thank you very much. And in all seriousness, I really appreciate that support. You are going to be in my phone. I mean, that's just not,
No,
that's
it's
a given.
absolutely.
But
listen, I admire the fact that you decided to do something about it in your own town, and you're right. The local level, to me, I know at the national level, a lot of times people don't feel like they can affect as much change because it's a macro level. But at the micro level, which is again, that someone stated in the comments, your quality of everyday life. I think about what's going on with my children's schools. I think about what I have access to in my own community. So I think it's almost more critical that you get out there and vote at the local level because you feel those effects a lot faster, I believe. So I'm
very well
100% behind you on that.
Corinne, a couple questions. Number one, from the time that you said yes to this very moment, was there a lot of things that you already knew, or did you like go into the books and study like nobody's business to learn all of this stuff?
I did a little bit of both. I leaned on some people that are already elected officials, reached out to them, asked them what their experience is. But I'm also someone that knows you need to know the rules as well. You can't just get in there without any background or without any grounding because, if you are not grounded in something, you fall for anything. So I want to make sure that I have the knowledge that I need as an elected official to know what the ordinances are, know what the laws are, know what the responsibilities are, know what my role is. And then I can really affect change. So I'm still reading. I have a ton of books over here. I'm reading about Jersey politics. I'm reading about Cinnaminson, the history of Cinnaminson, how everything that we do from top to bottom. But that also doesn't negate some of the conversations that I'm having with other folks that have either run or currently in office, just about their experiences and how they're affecting change as well. So it's work. I would caution anybody that thinks that you can get into this race and not do that background work because you do have to know the nuances of government. It's a responsibility. You do have to know. So I'm studying as well right now too.
What would you say are like maybe a surprise learning or a great learning either about politics and or about Cinnaminson in particular?
I'm gonna shine a light on Cinnaminson right now. Cinnaminson has such community, and that's the best way that I would describe it. We have a lot of people from diverse backgrounds that bring so much energy to the community itself. And I didn't realize to what extent until I literally was walking the streets of Cinnaminson. We've been in just about every voting district, and every voting district has a different identity, but it also has a very different energy. And if we could tap into and capitalize on that energy and get people energized, enthusiastic, and involved, there's no limit to what we can do in the future. But it's about these folks being seen and being heard. But I didn't know that. I really didn't know that side of Cinnaminson. And I also am just becoming very familiar with the history of Cinnaminson. Cinnaminson has a very robust history. We've had a lot of people that have had influence in a lot of major events that have happened throughout history, and they've come right here from Cinnaminson itself. And so, people think that Cinnaminson is the kind of this very quiet neighborhood, but it's a neighborhood that produces a lot of great leaders. It's a neighborhood that takes pride in where we are and in our neighborhood and our community, our neighbors itself. So running has given me a new sense of pride of where I am, and it's motivated me to contribute to my township even more because I know the history, but I also know what we can become.
Yeah. Now, as someone who technically came as an outsider, as far as being seen as the voice of and for Cinnaminson, how open have people been to accepting that?
People have been very open. It's one of the things that I think folks that haven't gotten on board question, because you've only been here for 3 years. What do you know about Cinnaminson? But it's one of those things that it's not about how long you've been here. It's about what you've done with the time that you've been here.
Come on.
So when you have been knocking doors and you've been having these personal conversations, when you've been setting up programs, when you've been connecting people, even down to translation services. We have people that speak different languages here, couldn't access information. We've set them up with translation services so that they can feel settled and part of the township as well. So I respect the folks that have been here, the generational families that have been here I lean on them for that historical perspective of what Cinnaminson was, what has your experience been, but I also lean on the folks that have been here a little bit newer to what were you expecting when you come here? What do you love about being here? And what can we enhance? So it's I think it's okay. I really, really do, because representation comes in all different forms. I believe that local government should have folks that have been here for a long time, but local government should also have folks that are newer, because different perspectives bring different ideas, and it all contributes to what Cinnaminson is going to look like.
Yeah. Dr. Natasha, we have about 5 more minutes. Any additional questions and or comments that you'd like to make?
Just one. I know that you've been doing a lot of the legwork, and you and your husband have been going around, and other supporters. And I wanted to say, you balance so many roles, as executive, advocate, educator, and now candidate. How do you keep yourself grounded and focused?
Conversations like these, to be honest. Conversations like these energize me, but I've actually personally made it a point to be very committed to my meditation practice. So I start my day very early, and I spend anywhere between 10 minutes to sometimes an hour just meditating to get myself grounded, because I feel like when I don't take that time, the day is already taking control of me. So when I do have that time to just center and focus, it's quiet in the morning. I feel like I get a lot of clarity in the morning as well. I feel like it sets everything up so that I can be a little bit more centered, a little bit more grounded, and ready for what happens during the day. So between my meditation practice and the community that I have around me, and Dr. Natasha, guess what? You're part of that community too. Welcome. Would you like a button? You can look it.
She can have a yard sign. She can get a sign.
You have, but it's I get inspiration from those that are inspiring, and I find both of you very, very inspiring. So on days when I'm tired, or on days when you just don't want to do it again or anymore, I turn to the folks that inspire me and give me a little bit of a leg up, and I hope that they do the same whenever you need a little something or the day becomes. But Dr. Natasha, you're doing a lot on your end too. Between all the hats that you juggle, and being a patient advocate is no easy task either, because I'm sure that you have stories for days about some of the difficulties people have in navigating the system, and it's very, very heavy work. So for you, what do you do to stay grounded, to make sure that you can always be there for the folks that need you as well?
Similar. Mine is journaling and taking the time alone with God, and just making sure that I start my day that way, because you're right, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. So when everyone else is asleep, that's my time. I wake up earlier so that I can do those things, so that and what's interesting, if I don't get an opportunity to do it, you really do feel the difference in your day. It goes, I won't go awry, but it definitely is different.
What do you feel that's different?
It's different in that I don't feel, whatever comes your way, no matter if it's good or bad, but specifically if it happens to be something a bit negative, the way that it is perceived, if I hadn't had that time at the beginning of the day, is a little bit different. There are times where it seems like it can be a bit more overwhelming if I hadn't had that alone time, journaling, for prayer, for time where I commune with the Lord. So that's what I do.
So true. So true. So Corinne, tell us this. How can people be of assistance? Everyone on this call is not from or live in Cinnaminson. We have people from all over the world on this call right now. How can people be of support for you at this time? What's needed?
So donations are always very helpful. What we do with any donations that we have, we use it to print materials. So we want people to have their vote by mail ballots in. We give people instruction on what vote by mail looks like. We inform people of when to vote, where to vote, some of the issues that are facing Cinnaminson right now. All of those stuff we run out. We do it over social media, but some people aren't on social media, so we do hand out flyers a lot too. We want people to be informed, and that's the way that we and that's that's the way we get our information out. But I would say spread the word. If you are interested and you heard what we talked about today, and it has energized you, follow us on social media and share our social media handles on both Facebook and Instagram, because we need people to know that we're out there. We need people to know that we're fighting for Cinnaminson. We want to shine a light on the good work and the good people that are a part of this movement. And this is not the end. This is really just the beginning. So after November 4th, that's when the real work starts, and we're going to continue to go. So if you can follow us on social media, tell your friends about it, talk about Cinnaminson. Please promote local politics and local races wherever you may be. Support those candidates that are running locally, because they do influence your quality of life. And reach out to me. I would love to hear your comments, and I'd love to hear from you. So please, if that works for me.
All right. So everyone, the links to Facebook as well as to Instagram, they are in the chat. You can go ahead and click on those, as well as in the write-up following the show. You can go right underneath on the YouTube write-up. There are live links to all of Corinne's platforms. There are also links to Dr. Natasha Ramantal's platform. And of course, there's links to my different platforms as well. So I just want to highlight here what Barbara said. She said she is the candidate to follow, Dr. Corinne Walls. So proud. And both ladies are amazing. So
Yay, Barbara!
Yes. So we thank everyone in the chat for joining us. Dr. Ramantal, of course, thank you for being my co-host here. And I'm so glad. I had no idea I was going to get, taken off screen, but it's all good. You hold it down. Thank you for being my co-host this evening. Absolutely. And of course, to my sister in love, Dr. Corinne Taylor-Walls, so proud. So proud. Yes.
Thank you. Go out and vote for Dr. Corinne Taylor.
Oh my God, Sasha.
Just saying.
Natasha, when are we going to do this again? Please.
Okay,
are you available next week?
All the way to November 4th. We got to keep
every
going.
Week.
Come on.
Join us here every week.
Every week.
We'll talk about what's on your minds.
Come on. We'll make it happen. It ain't nothing but a word. You're talking to the right ones.
Call us.
That's right. That's right. Fantastic. Corinne, as you know, continued success. We'll be talking offline to see what else you need in the next upcoming weeks, because this timeline is getting shorter and shorter. I can't believe November 4th is almost a month out. It's ridiculous. Exactly. Dion said, thank you, ladies, for your time and talents. And she's a community force as well. All right.
Thank you, Dion.
Yes. All right, y'all. Until we meet again, let me see. What do I have rolling up soon? So if you haven't joined the Ask Dr. Walls 525 page, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing but a moment of your finger and your tap. On Monday, the 6th of October, I will be interviewing Warren Bosla. He is an author of a new book that is coming out in November. Pre-sales are available. Look, all I know is it deals with power, it deals with money, it deals with a brothel, and it deals with the Pope. I'm interested. So, so we're going to find out what's going on there. And then that's Monday the 6th at 7 p.m. And then on Tuesday the 14th at 7 p.m., I will be talking with Shane Lewis. He is the founder and director of Abundant Life Services, and also the author of a new book about autism. And so that's going to be a very interesting conversation with all the community resources that he and his family provide for just so many different areas in and around Philadelphia. And of course, with the rising number of people who are diagnosed with autism, it has been incredible. So we're going to have a very interesting conversation there. And we have a couple more shows coming up. As it gets closer to the holidays, I really love to talk to my authors because I want people to buy books. and get back into reading and having these types of discussions. And then we have a book club coming up in the new year, so we'll be dropping some information about that coming up as well. So please be sure to subscribe, and then we'll get Dr. Natasha on as an author probably in 2026. I'm just saying, y'all.
Buy her book, everybody. Buy her book.
All right.
Dr. Natasha.
That's right.
I can't to Dr. Walls hobby. I can't.
It's already done. I don't know. I would, Dr. Natasha, don't even fight it. It's not even worth it.
Mama Gwendolyn, I got you. I got you. Okay. Look. All right, y'all. We're going to say good night. As always, God bless. And until we meet again, please continue to live your greatest life. All right. See y'all soon. Bye.